So in other words, if I have a park, this is 3x plus 5, and this is 2x plus 8. If it's a rectangular park, how do you find the area? Length times width, okay? So if I take 3x plus 5 times 2x plus 8, that would give me the area. Am I given the area?
Yeah.
360. So that equals 360. Okay? So now we're going to use the distributive property. So 3x times 2x would be 6x squared. 3x times 8 would give us
24x.
5 times 2x. And 5 times 8. So when I add my like terms, I get
6x squared plus 34x plus 40.
and that still equals 360.
Minus 40.
Now, in order to get my dimensions, or to solve for x, I have to factor because I have an x squared.
Oh, dang it.
So what do I have to move then so that I can factor? What? I have to get rid of that 360. How do you get rid of the 360?
Minus 360.
So I subtract 360, subtract 360.
So 320. Negative 320.
So negative 320 equals 0, and I still have x squared, 6x squared plus 34x.
Then you do what we did do.
Right?
Yeah. Then you do 6 times negative 320.
Yes. So 6 times negative 320 is
Well,
what?
Oh, no. You can divide everything by 2, I guess.
Yep, we could divide everything by 2, so let's do that first so we have smaller numbers, right? So if I divide everything by 2, I would have
3x squared plus 17x minus
16.
116 equals 0.
Everybody good with that? We just divided everything by 2.
Then you see what goes into 160.
Okay, so now we still have to times 3 times 160 or negative 160.
So
What do you
one's a
get?
negative. One's a negative.
You get what? Negative 480. So we're looking for factors of negative 480 that give me a difference of 17.
One of them has to be negative.
One of them has to be negative, I agree. What do we think?
What does that equal? 17?
Yeah.
2 times 24. No.
It'd have to be 2 or 20 times 24, which that would not give us a difference of
60 times.
Okay, so we're thinking of like factors of 48, right? That's what you're trying to do. So he said 20 and
Oh, I got it.
24.
I got it. 32 and 15.
Okay.
32 minus 15.
Those won't work. Bryce says what?
32 and 15. Oh,
32 and 15. Which one has to be negative? 15 because I want my x to be positive, or my 17 to be positive.
Yes.
So if I take 32 minus 15, do I get 17?
Yes.
Okay, so this one works. So then I have 2 parentheses. I'm going to split this into what?
32.
32x and,
Negative 15x.
but I still have a negative 160 and a 3x squared.
Split it in half.
So now I split it in half. I'm using the whole rainbow here. Alright, so what would I pull out of this one?
Negative 15.
You can do below x.
I can just pull out x. So I would have 2 parentheses. Sorry, that 2 was my original parentheses. So I had 2 x parentheses. What?
3x plus 32.
The other one.
On the other side, what would I have?
You can divide by 5. No, probably 15.
Can you do anything bigger
You
than 5?
can't do 15.
Yeah, I know you can do 5.
Okay. So if I pull out 5,
Negative 3x.
Oh, wait, you pull out negative 5?
should we pull out a negative 5?
Yeah, because that the 32 will be
So negative 5.
So 3x
plus 32.
plus 32.
because I pulled out a negative. That's where I'm thinking you guys are messing up on your negatives. Or like when you're getting off by a negative sign. If you're dividing it by a -5, this divided by a negative would be a positive. This divided by a negative would also be a positive.
So then it'd be 2 in parentheses.
Okay, so now I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to erase this part so that I have room.
I think I know what you're
Yep.
saying. Okay.
I told you it was going to take perseverance.
That makes sense.
Okay,
So then
so now we have 2 parentheses.
x minus 5 parentheses 3x plus 32.
Nope.
No, you're not done.
Well, you know what that
Okay,
was.
so that still all equals 0.
Still not done.
So now, to get the dimensions, I have to set what equal to 0?
Everything. Well, everything. So
Oh,
it'd be 5,
x plus
2
minus 5 equals
x
0.
is 5,
X
and
minus 5 equals 0, and 3x plus 32 equals 0. Why don't I set 2 equal to 0? Because it doesn't have a variable. So here, x equals
5.
5. Here I would,
x equals negative 32.
so I subtract 32,
Oh, wait. Divide by 3.
and I have to divide it by 3, so I would have,
X equals -32 over 3.
okay. So now, since we know x equals that, you have to
Look
think,
at it.
you have to think,
Logically. It's going to be 5.
okay, it does have to be 5 because we're talking about dimensions, right? Can you ever have a dimension be negative?
No.
No. So negative 32 over 3 would not even make sense because we're talking about dimensions.
You can have a negative. That's what I
Because you're
said.
talking about the area. Okay, so then x has to equal 5. So yes, x equals 5, but it asked me to find the dimensions of the park. So where do you think I plug x in for?
All those numbers.
Over here. So 3 times 5 plus 5.
That's 20. 20 is the answer.
So 20 and 2 times 5 plus 8, 18. So my dimensions are 20 by 18.
That was all.
That's a lot. Just 20 by 18.
That was a journey.
And there.